Welcome to the third lesson on screen design. In this lesson, we will explain components and the controls associated with them. First, I add an image list. This is an object that is never visible on the form. From the properties, under the image property, I will add 3 images. We use this object for images in TreeView nodes. To make this visible, I also add a TreeView control to the screen. From its properties, I first select the image list. I select the image list that we just added. Now I go to the collection, where I can assign different images to each node. For example, I assign the first image. When the node is selected, I can choose the same image or a different one. We select the second image. We can add child nodes under this node. In the same way, we define the image indexes here. When selected and also in normal state, let it always display image number 2. Now when we select the node, as you can see, the icon on the side changes. It will be better to observe this in Runtime. When the node is selected, the image changes. However, the node below has a different image. And we selected that image as both the normal and selected image. Therefore, we do not see any change on that node. While we are explaining TreeView, let's continue. TreeView has a very useful feature. The checkbox feature. Let me explain that as well. When I set it to true, a checkbox appears next to each node. And we can associate these with different tags. We have 3 Boolean type tags. I will select them only for the parent nodes. I do not select them for the child nodes. We can also select 2 tags named index and tag name. The index tag stores the index value of the selected node. For the text field, I select a string type tag named note. Let's see how this works in Runtime. Sorry, to see these values, we also need to add some controls. I add 3 checkboxes. I also add 2 text boxes. In the checkboxes, I display the Boolean tags. In the text boxes, I display the index and note tags. Now we can run the runtime. When I select node 2, you can see note 2 and index 2 in the text box. The first index here refers to the index of node 0. The index of node 1 is 1, and it continues this way. By scanning child nodes from top to bottom, we can determine the index. Likewise, when we change the index, the selected node also changes. Changing it by the node name also changes the selected node. This structure is especially used in sequential processes. You can track completed steps from the SCADA system this way. Completed indexes are marked inside the PLC. Operators can monitor them from the screen. Now let's stop using this TreeView object. Let's continue with the timer object under components. We can add multiple timers. We can associate timer enable properties with tags. For example, this timer runs when the value of the first tag is true. For the second timer, we use a different tag for the enable property. We have 2 timers. Using checkbox 0 and 1, these timers are enabled. So what do we expect when the timer runs? We need to write code in the timer's tick event. Let me add the other timer as well. And write code for its tick event. I prepared a sample code, so I paste it here to save time. The code is similar for both timers. We read the index tag, increase its value by 1, and set it. In the other timer, we increase it by 100. We compile the script. There are no errors. Now we need to set the timer intervals. We set the first timer interval to 100 milliseconds. The second timer will be slower. We set it to 500 milliseconds. Or even 1 second, to clearly see the difference. Now I run the runtime. When I enable the first timer, it increases the tag value every 100 milliseconds. When I enable the second timer, it increases the tag value by 100 every second. Finally, let's explain the ToolTip feature. After adding a tooltip, we can use it on other screen objects. Here is the tooltip property. For example, I write Wise SCADA. This time, I write SCADA Wise as the text box tooltip. I run the runtime. When the mouse cursor hovers over the control, we see the tooltip. Other controls do not display anything because no tooltip is defined. We also have other controls. We are done with them. Let's move them upward. Under the Containers group, there are container controls. We have 4 different types of controls. Let's enlarge the SplitContainer. Let's also enlarge the tab page. We can add many controls inside it. These controls are contained within these objects. Now let me explain the rest in runtime. I also add a checkbox here. Some container controls have interactive behavior. In a split container, you can drag to resize the areas. This helps you use the screen more efficiently. The tab control displays different content based on the selected tab. However, there is an incorrect usage here. In SCADA projects, instead of creating separate screens, developers sometimes use full-screen tab pages. Each tab page actually represents a full screen. For example, if we assume there are 10 pages, this means 10 screens are open at the same time. From a performance perspective, especially on low-performance systems, we do not recommend using full-screen tab pages in this way. Thank you for watching this lesson.